You're watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
We are coming to you live at 6 a.m. following the heat and the ongoing fire danger in our county. Thanks so much for joining us here at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Iranpour. Glad to have you here with us. And we do want to update you on what's happening. Firefighters are working to fight the Border 32 fire. This is burning near Dolzura. So take a look here at the evacuation map. This is from CAL FIRE's website. So you see the U.S.-Mexico border. The fire is burning northwest of Tecate right there. It started yesterday afternoon off of Barrett Lake Road near State Route 94.
Now, this fire has burned more than 4,200 acres. It's about 5% contained. 4 structures have been destroyed. More than 400 homes are under evacuation orders. And we have team coverage. Chris Groh has a look at the impact on families who had to evacuate. But we begin with Dana Marie McNichol. She is live with the latest on this fire. Dana Marie?
Well, good morning, Eric and Netta. As the sun comes up, we are getting a better idea of how much devastation has ripped through this area. Take a look around me. It clearly seems as though a fire has made its way through this area. The hot spots behind me is what remains, which is mostly what we've seen. Now, this is one of the biggest hot spots that we've seen this morning. Now, just in terms of where I am for reference, I'm in Barrett Smith Road off of Highway State Route 94 in between Dolzura and Potrero. Now, both ground and airborne crews have been working through the night to get control of this fast-moving blaze. Now, we have seen several road closures off State Route 94 as well as evacuations. Now, fire officials still don't know how that fire started. It sparked around 2:30 p.m. yesterday afternoon. We're showing you some video that we got last night. Now, this is extremely dry area with many trees and brush. Most of now burned to a crisp, at least in the area that I'm in. Here standing, you can see the smoke over the mountains this morning in the horizon. You can see the ash falling from the sky. You can smell it in the air, especially if you're in this area in East County. You will be smelling that. Just take note if you're sensitive to smoke. You could really feel it here. Now, we are standing in an area that is under evacuation. To my left and right now, I see a home. I don't have a great vantage point in terms of if it was structurally damaged, but it's right in the middle of everything that's crisp, burned. The power lines you can see right here are another area that is burned. So again, in between Dolzura and Potrero, this fire raged through this area. Now, we do want to toss it to Chris, who has a better idea of those families that had to leave so quickly. I'm assuming one of these is those families in the shelter right now.
And Dana Marie, we know that at least 4 structures have been lost. It's something that we've been hearing about, but as you just showed us in that live picture, we're waiting to see if more have been threatened, more have been damaged. Now, we've also heard that there's animals that have been either gone missing or lost as well. Now, we spoke with a former volunteer firefighter about what she experienced.
When you live out here, you learn to be self-reliant and you deal with what comes.
Now, you just heard from Kathy McGoffin, and she says that the flames got extremely close to her home, as close as 2 feet before she left. Now, she used a garden hose to fend them off and to try to protect the home. We know that a lot of people in that area are very well versed in trying to prevent those fires from getting too close. Now, she eventually evacuated to the Hamul Casino. Before she left, though, she witnessed something terrible. She says the home next to hers was completely destroyed.
I heard all the propane tanks going off. And then I know the barns over by my sister-in-law's house, both those barns were gone. I know the main barn was gone. I know they let their horses loose and just evacuated with their dogs and cats and took off.
Now, we spoke with another family that knows that they lost their home. Not only that, but also, again, some of the animals that lived on their property and most, if not all, of their possessions. Of course, we are continuing to follow the Border 32 fire and its impact on the people, the community that live there. So for more coverage, go to CBS8.com and click on that story link. Eric?
Chris, thank you for that. School districts in the area will not have classes today because of the Border 32 fire. Take a look here. This includes Hamul Dolzura Union and Mountain Empire Unified. This morning, crews are monitoring hotspots after another fire along State Route 67 here in Lakeside. The Willow fire started around 4 p.m. yesterday and burned 5 acres. It prompted evacuation warnings and shut down the 67 at one point. One firefighter was hurt and was taken to the hospital. Thankfully, no structures were burned.
Horrible. You got the gas station, you have Ahern on the corner that has construction equipment with diesel fuel, and you have miles of just dry brush everywhere. You got homes that are in the surrounding areas. I mean, it could have been a lot worse.
Cause of the fire is under investigation. These fires come amid a prolonged heat wave. Checking in with Netta now to see how these temps look. Everybody's talking about this weekend.
Yeah, unfortunately, triple-digit temperatures in the forecast again for where that Border 32 fire is. That fire, it was right near Campo, just a little bit to the west of Campo. And Campo reached all the way up to 105 yesterday, tying its own record at 105. This is a view from Otay Mountain looking out towards the south, towards our border. And you do see a little bit of that haze. Otay Mountain is a bit west of where the fire is burning, but I'm checking in on all of these mountain cameras to see where we might see some of that smoke. Here's a smoke forecast model. I know it doesn't look like smoke here, but if you focus right there, that's where the fire is. You'll notice with wind direction, the direction the smoke will be going. We're going to get more of a westerly flow, so you'll notice some of that smoke headed further out into the mountains and into the deserts, into Mexico as well by later on this afternoon. Later tonight, we're continuing with that westerly flow. Then everything shifts tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning, we might get more of that smoke and that haze. When there's a fire over 4,000 acres like this, you're certainly going to look towards the South Bay and notice some of that smoke and haze in our skies. But at least we notice some of this is going away from many populated areas. But of course, if you're near that fire, just know there's particulate matter in the air. There's smoke and ash. It's not good for your lungs. So definitely limit your physical activity anywhere you smell smoke. And then also stay inside if you can. Get away from the fire if at all possible. It's best not to breathe a lot of that in. Mount Soledad's view is showing us downtown San Diego, where it's 71 degrees right now. So even right now, we are feeling pretty warm. It's 82 in Jamul, 87 in Alpine, 73 in Campo. That's near where the fire is. I can tell you the good news, at least there's not major wind right now. We're not noticing strong gusts, strong sustained winds at all in this area. So there you have it, about 6 miles per hour, right around Border 32 fire. Further north in Palomar, there's a little bit of a breeze, but nothing major. And then as far as relative humidity, we are getting a bit of moisture, especially along the coast, a sign that things may stay cool along the coast. But inland, you'll notice it's going to be dry and hot yet again. Now, I do want to show you what's happening with traffic here because we do have quite a few closures because of those fires, the two fires. Let's start with the Border 32 fire, looking at State Route 94. So you see this long stretch. Let me step out of the way so you can look at that from Otay Lakes Road. It's closed right there at the 125 to 94 Campo Road all the way through. There's the port of entry into Cate. That likely will not open here this morning. We're going to continue to check and see if they do want to open it back up again. But as of last night, they did close it early, and then it's staying closed on the 94 all the way that direction towards Forest Gate Road. So that, of course, is because of the Border 32 fire. We also talked about the fire, the Willow fire in Lakeside, and that has the State Route 67 closed from Lakeside Avenue to Winter Gardens Boulevard. Of course, that's all to allow fire crews to access these areas to try to get containment around the fires. Eric, we'll send it back to you.
And amid this heat wave here, everyone's being asked to conserve energy again here today. A flex alert has been issued between 4 and 9 p.m. and you can help by setting your thermostat to 78 degrees or higher, not using major appliances, and be sure to turn off unnecessary lights and avoid charging electric vehicles. Meantime, Governor Gavin Newsom has signed a state of emergency as the heat wave puts pressure on the power grid. This will temporarily allow for an increase in energy production and allow some large customers to use backup generators during peak energy demand. At least one local cool zone is staying open on Labor Day to help beat the heat. The Norman Park Senior Center in Chula Vista will be open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Monday. The Chula Vista Library is also a cool zone. It's open until 8 p.m. on weekdays. And for a full list of all the cool zones all over the county, there's plenty of them for you to stay cool. Just head to CBS8.com and click on the Help button.
And you've probably been using your air conditioning, if you have one, to try to keep cool. So here are some ways to keep your AC working at its peak, which will also help you save money. We turned to a local AC technician. So listen here. We wanted to find out what you can do on your own at home. And they do say filters should be replaced at least twice a year. So if you haven't done that, you may want to do that quickly. Otherwise, your AC could be working harder than it should. Your thermostat should also be set at the beginning of the day when it's still cool inside. So right now. Also, don't close the vents in your home.
Using more money creating your system to be more inefficient, and then more breakdowns in the middle of summer.
That's interesting. Open up all the vents, even in rooms that you're not in, to allow for your AC to run efficiently, according to that tech. Experts recommend you have your heating and cooling systems maintained twice a year. SDG&E says proper maintenance can save you up to 15% on that energy bill.